you can get discouraged and you can get frustrated when something isn't happening, when the results aren't there, the fruit of your labor isn't showing up yet. But whenever you have that expert holding your hand and they're in it with you, they'll help you stay the course and help you stay objective and say, okay, this is the result that we got. Here's the other 5 levers that we can still pull and take us to the next step.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Nourished and Thriving Show. I'm your host, Katie Lovett. I'm a registered dietitian on a mission to help you increase your impact and legacy on the world while healing your gut and reducing your IBS symptoms. I'm so grateful to have you here. Each week, I'll inspire you to live vibrantly and provide valuable resources and information that empowers you to take bold action towards your health goals. Before we dive in, make sure you follow or subscribe to my show wherever you're listening so you never miss an episode. Ready? Let's go!
Hello, everybody. Today we are continuing on with our series through the different stages of gut rehab. So we're about halfway through. We've covered the first 3. So those are hot mess gut, root cause researcher, and short-sighted action taker. And that leads us right into the very next stage. And that stage is the discouraged healer. So anyone who's a short-sighted action taker, which I shared with you guys in the last episode, that short-sighted action is actually the kind of action I even take with my own clients, that I encourage them to take, because short-sighted action is the only action we can take. We are never able to fully see the big picture and know every single step that's going to be made over the course of your gut healing journey. So we take some short-sighted action. We do the next thing that sounds like it's the best option, right? If you watched Frozen 2, you guys know I have little girls. You do the next best thing, right? Are y'all playing that song in your head? So you do the next best thing. And that's where it can be really beneficial working with a professional like myself, where we know all of the levers that are there to be pulled. And we know what types of situations and circumstances tend to respond best to which action. We can help way narrow down the number of options that you have, while also at the same time, kind of paradoxically, increasing your options, right? And that's where this discouraged healer stage can really come in and really catch you off guard and kind of like take the wind out of your sails and send you spiraling all the way back to hot mess gut. And so this discouraged healer phase, I'm going to share why that is. It's because maybe you've been doing a protocol. You didn't realize it was short-sighted action. That's the catch. That's the kicker. You didn't realize it was short-sighted action. You believed wholeheartedly all of the marketing promises that an expert or a book or a doctor, whatever made, that this will fix you. And you so badly wanted to hear those words that it was really easy to believe them, right? And I'm not saying that those experts mean anything bad, by saying that, or mean to take advantage of people. People have to say things that encourage people to take action. And even if a certain protocol doesn't work for you or doesn't fix all your problems, I don't think that it's completely useless. In fact, I bet from any protocol that you've done, even if you still have gut symptoms afterwards, I bet you can think of at least one lesson from each protocol that you've done that you've learned along the way that have helped you make some progress towards your big goal. So that's really the difference, is going into action taking and asking yourself, or being, really realistic and saying, what lesson am I going to learn by taking this action, versus going into this action and saying, this is going to be it. This is going to be the one thing that fixes everything. That doesn't exist, right? It's like a unicorn, which my girls will tell you they do exist and they are real. But no one's seen it, right? So maybe they are real and no one's seen it, and that's all fine and good, but it's not going to help us today with our problems. So if you've seen a unicorn, please let me know. But so you're a discouraged healer. Whenever you've done this protocol, you were super convinced that it was going to do this trick for you. It was going to fix all of your problems. And maybe you make progress for a while. Okay, you make some progress. But then as soon as you come off of this elimination diet or this supplement protocol that's really strict, or as soon as you stop following this exact plan that's set out specifically to a T, you feel bad again, right? You may even feel worse than you felt to begin with. Or you get to a certain point and the protocol helps you to a certain point, and then you plateau or you get stuck and you're like 40% improved, but you're not getting all the way to the finish line, right? And that can be really frustrating whenever you're like, I can get a little bit better, but I'm not quite there. Like, I'm not there. Or I can feel better, but I'm totally imprisoned by this protocol that's super, super strict. Like, maybe it's even worse than my gut symptoms were. It could be either one of those things or something else changes. You get put on a different medication, you go through a really stressful time, you get sick with something else that changes your circumstances, that makes your gut symptoms change. Everything is connected, right? So then all of a sudden, this protocol that you were doing and you were feeling really good isn't working for you anymore. It's really discouraging, right? And then what you feel like is, I've tried all the things. I went all in on this. I did it. I did it full out. I tried it. It didn't work. That protocol was rubbish. That expert was rubbish. I'm never going to get better. Do you see how you can just spiral all the way back down into hot mess gut? It's really frustrating, right? And I've been there on my own sometimes. And even if you're working with me or working with another expert, you can get discouraged and you can get frustrated when something isn't happening, when the results aren't there, the fruit of your labor isn't showing up yet. But whenever you have that expert holding your hand and they're in it with you, they'll help you stay the course and help you stay objective and say, okay, this is the result that we got. Here's the other 5 levers that we can still pull and take us to the next step. Versus whenever you're trying to do it on your own, that one expert or that one protocol promised to fix all of your problems. It didn't. And now you don't know what else to do. And so it can feel really overwhelming again. Maybe you go back into that root cause researcher mode where you start researching and researching to see what went wrong, why it didn't work, blah, blah, blah. And then you can get stuck spinning there too. So those are kind of, the options of it. To me, and let me know if you disagree, but I think for you too, the option that I mentioned where you have an expert who really knows this really well and is really experienced and has other options available and is able to help you, yes, validate your frustration, validate your feelings and where you're at, but also then say, okay, here's what we learned from that. Here's our next couple of options. Let's pick together which one makes the most sense of when to step forward again, when you're ready again. Sometimes you may need to take a breath and feel frustrated for a minute and then pick it back up and keep going. That's what the benefit of having a pro like myself is going to do for you in that moment, versus if you're on your own trying to DIY it with a book or a webinar or a podcast or whatever, maybe even another professional who's more hands-off and doesn't work as closely one-on-one with you as I work with my clients. It's so much easier to spiral because you feel like you've tried it all and it didn't work. And it just makes you honestly want to give up. And I get it because I've been there too. But working with someone who really partners with you and helps you work through the hard sounds like a much better plan, right? It sounds really good. And once you get through that, you start to take on more of that power into yourself because you're able, it's practice in troubleshooting and problem solving, right? So whenever you're in this discouraged healer phase, notice how I talked about it. The protocol didn't work, the expert didn't work, the diet didn't work. You're still putting all of that power into these other things versus asking yourself from a really empowered place, what went well? What did I learn? What can I try next? What are some things that that I've heard about that I think make sense for me? And that's, again, something that a professional can really help come alongside you and do. And I'm not just talking about, typical doctor's visits where you go in, you tell them what's wrong and they tell you what to do and you say thank you and leave. That's not empowering. That's just telling you what to do. You are a responsible, ambitious, achieving person, and you have the capacity to take on the responsibility for your own health. And that's the only way you're ever going to feel truly free from these chronic gut symptoms is whenever you're empowered to own your own body and your health. And you also have the tools and the skills to be able to do that with confidence. So whenever you start to do that, you move into the next phase. And that is what we call the emerging soul. And it's a great place to be. Now, we're going to talk about that in the next episode, but the amount of time that you spend in discouraged healer is up to you. It's up to you. This is a phase that, let me tell you, an expert is going to help you fast track through. An expert who has a lot of experience, a lot of practice, a lot of know-how, they're going to help you breeze right through it. But if you're on this road on your own, remember I said you're going to go through each of these 6 stages on, no matter what. If you're on your own, if you're with a pro, but working with somebody who knows what they're doing in this space will help you get through them more efficiently as possible. If you're doing this on your own, this discouraged healer phase can be a place where you get really stuck or even go backwards in your progress. Okay. Let me know if this really hit home for you guys. I think that this discouraged healer, it's kind of like a pivotal moment in your gut health journey. I don't know if you guys have seen, like on Facebook or Instagram, you'll see this like picture from a grocery store, and let's see, say it'll be, I don't know, let's do like the cookie aisle or the bakery section, and you'll see like a bunch of broccoli left in the cookie aisle, and the caption will say like a decision was made here where somebody decided forget it, put down the broccoli, pick up the cookies and go. I think the same can really be true with this discouraged healer phase where a decision was made here and you can put down your discouragement and your frustration and hightail it into the emerging soul. Or you can get stuck there, carry that discouraged healer around with you, or even go backwards into, the hot mess gut or root cause researcher. So let me know if this resonated with you guys. Next, we're going to talk about emerging soul. It's a really, really awesome place to be. You'll start feeling a lot better, a lot more confident, all of that. So stay tuned, listen in, and we'll talk soon.
Thank you so much for listening to the entire episode. I hope you are feeling inspired and empowered to take bold action towards your health goals. If you enjoy what you heard, don't forget to follow my show so you never miss a new episode. And it would mean the world to me if you left me a review so others knew what to expect from my show. Last, get in touch. Let me know what bold action you're taking. Let me know how you're inspired. Follow me on Instagram at the_healthygut_dietitian. I've put a link in my show notes for you so you can simply click and follow. Come say hi. I respond to all my messages and I can't wait to get in touch.